episode
of Useful or Not.
brought to you by Sentinel Training Range
Farr Associates.
and Adaptable Arms. You know the format, dudes. We don't know what this stuff is. It's on the lower end price spectrum of stuff you might be buying for emergencies.
What kind of woe are we getting in our bag of woe today?
It's like, uh-oh. It's your turn, Tom.
It's not alive. It's not squeaking.
You know, the one day you say it's not alive, you're opening it and it's just something going to jump right out at him. I hope for the day. I'm going to be honest with you. I really do.
Well, there's multiple in here. So.
Open her up. Ooh.
Finally.
Oh, gimme.
Finally.
Uh-oh.
Real tourniquets.
Now, we can already tell these are tourniquets, and these are supposed to be what kind of tourniquets?
Cat tourniquets.
Which I mean, like real
trauma
tourniquets. So I'm going to be 100%. What are we with stuff that's supposed to save lives, Tom? How are we with that stuff?
Very, very picky.
Very, very picky, because not only it's just too important not to be. You go look at that, and I'll open up the little.
You can open up the.
Oh, okay. So it does have
instructions.
It does have an instruction, but what? So I mean, the first time, obviously, please seek out proper instruction in this stuff. But
yeah, we do offer classes. Find a local instructor, take a class on how to do this stuff.
please,
Please.
this stuff does save people's
And
lives.
if you really are interested, you can get a hold of us, and we do online classes.
No matter where you're at.
Yeah, we can be your instructors.
Lucky,
Scary, isn't it?
Lucky you. Being real.
I like these because they're ones you can put on yourself.
Why is that important, Tom?
Because sometimes you're not always with somebody else, and sometimes you just
And
alone.
even if you're with someone else, you might be
might
the
be
higher
the
trained person, right?
Not to mention, if it's that big of an injury, ooey gooey, no chewy, icky sticky, no licky.
Yeah.
You don't want somebody else
getting.
getting stuff all over them unless they have the proper precautions.
How on the whole spectrum of life-saving gear, Tom? Even me, right? You know where I'm at with this stuff with a tourniquet, right? This is like top of the pyramid.
Yes.
You must have kind of stuff, right?
If you carry a firearm, or around firearms, or anything outdoors where you're going to risk getting seriously injured, you should carry one of these.
And all those other times that don't fit into those categories,
You should carry
you should
one
still
of these.
carry one of these. Seriously, we can't stress this stuff enough. I mean, I'm looking at the
It's
construction so far.
I mean, it's built well. I'm not going to let my hand turn purple, but
Well,
it's built well.
sacrifice for the video. Man.
Okay, hold on. The hands are popping.
Let me turn it into a ball. Okay.
We're going to sit here until the hand falls off.
So feature-wise, this does look like a lot of comparable, quote, trauma tourniquets. It's constructed that way. One of the big things on these, and Tom stresses this in medical courses, we stress this stuff, forgetting the price point, right? We don't know what that even is yet. The construction of these, this is an utter life-saving piece of gear. It needs to be made right.
Well.
And one of the biggest points Tom points out, right here,
Plastic.
it's going to be made of plastic. Some of them actually are metal. They're pieces of machine-type aluminum.
I've heard a lot of people complain about failures in these. The only reason this is going to fail is if there's a manufacturer's defect in it. Or you're really reefing on it way too hard.
And honestly, the way these are stressed, as long as these are made from a reasonable material, these are not going to just instantly splinter on you, because these are under quite a bit of tension, but nowhere near enough that should shatter one made from. This feels like more like a Delrin or a really strong type of plastic. So obviously, it does have another little feature on the tourniquet, which I don't know. I mean, you can see it, guys, but it says time. Why?
Well, hold on. Before we even go there, that same feature is a safety, so it locks over that. So if somebody bumps that, it can't pop out, because these are under a lot of tension. But the time, when you put the tourniquet on, you want the time the tourniquet was put on, because you're risking damage to that limb. Not as much as you used to.
Not as much as you used to.
They say now you can go 12, 16 hours, if not longer, with a tourniquet on.
Honestly, for the amount of time it takes to write it on there, I don't see a harm. If all the other life-saving measures are done and this is like an afterthought, then fine. I'm with it. I mean,
I'm going to go one step further. I'm old school. We were always taught to put the T and the time on the forehead.
oh yeah.
For the simple fact of this patient you put this tourniquet on has now left your care, is in the back of an ambulance, and they throw a blanket over this patient.
What if this gets covered up? What if this gets this what you wrote about gets destroyed?
Exactly.
You know,
Or it gets covered, and they don't know at the hospital that there's a tourniquet on because the ambulance ran out for another call before they could relay that. That T and the time there lets them know that there's a tourniquet on that patient somewhere.
right where I'm at right now, the way they come packaged in the package, you know, this is applicable by yourself. The only thing is you have to run the tension strap through the buckle and run it back around the strap, the Velcro it on. But
so what I recommend to everybody is take them out of the package and fold them nice and neat. Like that. And that way all you gotta do is pull it. It's there, open it up, it goes right up. There's no...
This is why we stress, no matter what it is, if you order a tourniquet and it's in this nice little bag or whatever, you know, first, obviously, like we already prefaced, instruction, knowing how to use the gear you have. Don't just toss that in your bag. Take it out, look at it, and set it up like Tom said. Set it up for success, you know what I mean?
But you can also look at it, see if it came through with any defects or cracks, and really inspect it. You know, the important thing is, these are one and done.
Yeah, we're not worried about it at that point.
Don't ever worry about getting it back. I'm all for these. I'm an advocate of everybody having a tourniquet.
Knowing how to use it.
Knowing how to use it.
Training.
But I also know you can get this style tourniquet on Amazon inexpensively. 3 of them for...
Okay, now this is your bag. You gotta give... I'm gonna throw out a price.
But hold on. I know you can go high end and get the actual military combat approved ones, and they run on the average of $45 an hour for one.
Think of this, guys, when we're talking about price. This segment we do is we already know we're on one end of the spectrum because we understand this stuff can be crazy expensive. And there's a time and a place to be skimpy on some things, maybe that you can be, and that's kind of the idea of our segment, to give you let you decide for yourselves where that line is. On a tourniquet, you can only go so far one way, right?
Exactly.
The sky's the limit, right?
Yeah.
But on the other end, that's kind of where we're looking at. Like, what's the other end of that? You know, sort of functional.
I know these. This is the one I carry in all my trauma kits.
I'm gonna say for a price $30. I know that's even pushing out of our normal.
Or for
the whole for $30.
Three pack, right?
The three pack, $30.
Again, I know because I order these. They are on average of. This is actually cheaper than I normally get them. This is a U.S. 3-pack tourniquet. Rapid one-hand application. $14.69 on eBay. I normally buy them on Amazon for about $27, or usually about $9 a piece.
All right, let me set it up so you can spike it. Ready? Useful.
Very useful.
Very useful. Not just wait. Let's go one step further, Tom. Let's be real with the people.
This is the one piece of equipment.
This is a must-have.
This must-have.
Must-have. Period.
I always say, training your life might depend on it.
Or someone else. Do you love? I mean, or, you know.
This piece of equipment is that piece of equipment that, if your life depends on it, and you don't have it,
honestly,
you're out of luck.
Let's go beyond that. Just looking at it, I've looked at it. For that price, you can't go wrong.
No.
I don't think you can. So, I mean, with that, guys, I think that wraps this episode up. But we always like you guys watching. Like I said, check that stuff out. Like our channel, guys. Please hit the like button.
Hit the like button. Subscribe.
always, as always, most importantly, smash that bell so you see all of our content when it comes out, right? And check out our Patreon so you guys can like be involved with our channel.
Exactly. Ready. Now, to use these tourniquets, simple. You open it up. You want to place it. Well, let's go and do it right. You don't want it over a joint.
But why?
There's nothing there to compress. You want it between the heart and the injury. So if the injury is here, you want it about 2 inches above the injury. You just...
So if I have a little cut, I'm putting the tourniquet on, right?
Yes!
Of just a little
you
cut.
Just wrap it around, and then you pull the Velcro tight. And with these, stay. You want to turn this.
The windlass.
And you only want to turn that until the bleeding stops. You don't want to go any further.
So if the bleeding stops,
then you lock it. You lock it in, put that across, and you put your time on there. And then you sit here and wait for you to lose feeling in your hands.
Wow. Yeah.
And once it's on there, leave it on. You can
actually... ever take it off yourself, Tom?
Really shouldn't, no.
Period. That's pretty much...
And you can add a second tourniquet above this one, as long as it's
the next
not over the joint or above.
Now what if you have to put it on for someone else?
Okay.
Well, come over here, let's make sure it fits over your head.
How do you think I got to the state I am?
Now, put it on somebody else. Same thing. Cinch that Velcro up. Get it sit nice and tight. Which end of this opens up.
My arm hair! No, I'm kidding. Look, guys, if you're putting a tourniquet on somebody, you have a lot more things to worry about than arm hair.
Again, you crank this.
Oh, that's like a toy gun.
Until the bleeding stops. And don't sit here and go like this, people, and let it squirt in your face. Then you lock that over and put your time on it. Now they can walk themselves out of the woods 15 miles to the ambulance.
Why do I think you're talking about me?